Over the past 20 years, New Zealand has been transformed into a far more complex and culturally rich society. The scale and diversity of immigration means that providing quality advice about immigration issues has become a major task. Fulfilling that role is the Immigration Contact Centre, based appropriately enough in New Zealand's immigration heartland, Auckland.
We're handling up to 4,000 calls per day. That's 1 million calls per year.
Welcome to Immigration New Zealand. You're speaking with Yvonne.
Welcome to Immigration New Zealand. You're speaking.
Welcome to Immigration New Zealand.
Most of the calls will be from people who are interested in living, working or studying in New Zealand.
The information that customers receive from the Immigration Contact Centre is vitally important, because ultimately that advice that they get over the phone first time determines whether or not one, New Zealand will be their permanent settlement base, or two, whether or not they will actually be allowed entry into New Zealand.
In the past, the Immigration Contact Centre was not seen as a good place to work. Morale was poor and management and staff mistrusted one another. The results? High levels of staff turnover and sick leave and poor customer service.
In an environment where seconds matter, you can get behaviours of calls perhaps being cut short for the sake of meeting a call duration target without necessarily addressing the customer's need.
The amount of calls we were getting meant that we couldn't provide an adequate service to the public. People just couldn't get through on the phones.
There's nobody who isn't affected in some way by being sworn at on a daily basis or being told that they're inhumane or blamed for something bad that's happening for somebody. It's a big part of the job here that separates us from some other contact centres, I think, particularly the more corporate ones where they're just providing a service rather than providing information which sometimes people don't want to hear.
By 2006, management had begun to understand that the problems were real and that things would have to change.
This way of working wasn't meeting the customer need or our business requirements. So we organised an event in 2006 where we presented to the staff what we thought the problems were, some of the solutions that we'd identified, and basically sought their input.
There were obvious key issues that were coming across about our staff not feeling valued. They were under-resourced, there wasn't enough training being invested in the group, and they didn't feel that there was a lot of support from their managers.
The plan that emerged was called Partnership for Quality, an initiative that involved management, staff and the Public Service Union, the PSA. PFQ was about developing management capability and trust between managers and staff, providing clearer career pathways and recognition to staff, and empowering staff by providing them with appropriate training and support.
So part of the PFQ project was bringing in an outside consultant to help revamp our induction training.
The training program was very structured and oriented entirely to getting the new recruits to know the policy content and pass a warrant test within 3 weeks.
The warrant exam covers all immigration policy, and particularly for the contact centre, they have to learn a lot of information because obviously the calls we get here can be on any policy.
The pressure was immense, so much so that a number of the people who came on the training program would leave well before the training was even complete.
So what we did was we explained to staff that there was a need for them to become warranted, but the warrant examination could be conducted a number of months after they start with us when they feel comfortable with that process.
Staff have been able to get out on the floor, put those skills they've learnt during the training into place and have a real good base before actually sitting the test, and the scores have dramatically risen. Some
staff scoring 98 and 99, which previously was unheard of.
The changes I made to the program involved changing it so that the tasks and activities they did on the training matched as close as possible what they were going to be doing on the job.
We brought the training into more real-life situations, and what people would actually have on the floor, what they would actually come across when they started with us, versus just sitting in a classroom and looking at the PowerPoint slides or reading their books.
The Partnership for Quality was not just about helping staff do their jobs better. Even more important was helping managers become better at what they do.
There was a 3-day development training program that looked solely at the immigration managers around their coaching and their leadership skills, and getting an understanding of what a team culture actually meant.
From the implementation of the PFQ program, we've noticed a marked difference in how the managers within the contact centre behave and perform, both as a group of managers and with their individual teams.
Managers have become open to new ideas, and they've also become more confident about putting those ideas out for consultation with staff, for consultation with the delegates and PSA officials.
The managers are better for it, and the staff are better for those better managers.
In addition to revamping their training systems, the PFQ initiative also saw the contact centre increase support for their staff through new technology.
The key initiative that we're using with the contact centre at the moment is something called CMS, which is the customer management system, and basically the staff there have to deal with everything across the whole range of immigration policy and procedure. And they previously were working with a huge number of different applications. So what we tried to do with CMS is build one system which hooks everything in together.
It allowed us to capture a lot more information about the customer interaction, but it also supports our staff with ready access to a lot of the information that they need. One of the considerations there was what we could actually do to reduce unnecessary call load, and proactively communicating with our customers became very important.
We thought, why don't we go to the customer and tell them up front? Text messages, when you're sending them a bulk, work out at about 13 cents, so it's a fraction of the cost of handling an inbound phone call. And we actually go out proactively to our customers and provide them the information.
There are on record about 4,000 compliments from customers thanking us for that information. We're certainly very proud of that piece of work. It is quite innovative, and the extent of that innovation was recognised in the 2007 TUAN's Innovation Awards, with proactive communication taking out the government sector category.
So what differences have the Partnership for Quality made? Qualitative measurement, including customer satisfaction surveys, strongly suggests that users are happier with the service they get from the call centre. Managers agree that the new trainees are better equipped for their jobs than their predecessors under the old system. But what about the staff themselves?
It's much more relaxed. There's a much greater sense of community across the whole contact centre, not just in individual teams.
Personally, for me, since the PFQ project has come in, it's been a much better place to work.
More support, more resources, and you get a bit more time and quality time to spend with the customers now.
Productivity in state services is about effectively and efficiently creating value with and for the public. This concept embodies consideration of the quality of the services and the integrity with which services are delivered. Ultimately, it's about ensuring New Zealanders are satisfied with the services provided and that the trust between public and government is maintained.
When I first stepped into this job, the thing that characterised it for me was the level of customer complaint. It's all but dropped away. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's dropped away, and I think I would attribute that to the work that we've been doing with the staff.
The most rewarding part about it is helping customers.
It's only 2 years ago that we were losing staff, and that situation needed to change. And in the past 2 years, I believe we've really turned this place around.
From the time the changes were introduced to where the contact centre is today, absenteeism has reduced by around 20% and attrition has reduced by almost a third. All in all, employees are happier in the job, and partnership with the union has been really beneficial.